It. We're live.
Yeah,
Are we
we're
live?
live.
Oh,
Hello,
we're live.
everyone. Yeah, actually live. Hello, everyone. This is Joachim Comic Center. You don't have to pronounce that right. And and with and with me, this is Day Day from Omnination Comics.
What's
Hello, Day
happening,
Day.
y'all? What's happening? Joakim, thank you for having me, bro. I'm so excited. Let's do this. Let's do this.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for being here.
I'm
And
such a huge fan of your channel, brother. And so when I first heard that, when you first told me that you want to do this, I was like, what? This is a dream come true, bro.
yeah, thank you for being a fan of the channel. And yeah, I just when your channel came out, I mean, I'm not subscribed to the most comic book channels out there, so
hmm
take this as a huge compliment because
Yeah.
you're noticed without me even trying to look for channels,
Right.
and you're noticed. So that's a huge compliment to your content and personality foremost.
hmm Yeah.
And yeah, you have your own style in videos, I think, that is different from the majority. And
Right.
that is something that I want to talk about.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And what really got me into wanting to take this interview with you, I mean, this is going to be an amateur type of live stream interview, which we're going to try to make under an hour. And if we have people watching out there, they are open to suggestions and questions for Day Day now when he's here on my channel, talking about questions that maybe wouldn't come up on his own. So
Right.
yeah, and the video where I first noticed your comments, because you've been commenting a lot, and I noticed you, as I said, in the community. And one of the videos that I posted was the uh, time is money, and all you have is books.
One of my
And
favorites.
yeah, and you pulled out this comment on, dude, total wake up call, and so relatable, and yeah, I just felt okay, good. I struck a chord with someone that knows what I'm talking about. So then I was getting into how you manage everything in this with the channel, and then I heard about your job situation, and that's the first question I have. Just Day, how many jobs do you have for a living?
Joachim, I work two jobs. I work 1 8 hour and I work another 4 hour. So I work 12 hours a day. And so through all of that, I have to try to manage all of this. I have to manage now YouTube added to my, because I'm also a creative too. I'm not just a YouTuber, I'm also a creative. I'm a photographer also. I'm a digital artist also. I'm writing. I'm creating my own, projects and art and stuff like that. There's so much. I'm also a singer. Hello. So that's a lot to try to manage all at one time. And then you're trying to read. Put your fingers down. So I'm trying to manage all of these things all in one day, every
Can
day.
we can we get full jazz hand on this? I mean, do you have something else?
That's it at the moment. But YouTube added on to the weight, so
Yeah,
it's just a real challenge trying to find time for each of those things.
yeah. And there's only so much time, right?
hmm
So with all this time, I mean, half your day goes to the job, but still, you're a huge fan of the comic book medium.
Yes,
So when it actually
huge
comes
fan.
to the core of comic book books, how many books do you actually read per month?
Okay, I try my best to
We all
read
do.
two or
We all
right.
do.
I try my best to read 2 or 3 per month. Now, to me, in my record book, I can't. You a fast reader. We had this conversation. I can't say
Yeah.
that. To me, that's a lot for my world record book because I like to take my time and read. And Omnis aren't small books. And then you also another thing that's crazy. You're trying to keep up with the single issues that are coming out. That's a wait too. You
Yeah.
try to stay on top of the current six. Sometimes I'll just sit there and wait till they get collected in the collected edition, so you can just do it all one and done. But Omnis are thick books. So it's like, yeah, I take my time. But yeah, 2 or 3 per month.
Yeah. And that's solid because most of the books that you read are omnibus. So
Yeah.
those are still heavy books. I mean, that's still like everything from 100 to 120 issues per
Yes.
month.
I challenge somebody, if you're watching, I'm just joking. Try to read Final Crisis, Blackest Night, and Flashpoint in 1 month. I want to see how far fast you get.
I will take that challenge. I will
You'll
take
take
that
that
challenge.
challenge?
I
Those are
would.
DC's thickest encyclopedias. Try to read those in a amount of time or
The,
whatever. That's a lot.
out of those two, out of Final Crisis Omnibus and the Black Knight Omnibus, both of which are some of my favorite top DC events.
Same.
I feature them in my top DC Omnibus
I
list.
seen it.
And yeah, I know. And I mean, I would take that challenge because those are for me quick reads because they do not slow down. The writing does not slow
And,
down.
and
Jeff
that's the
Johns.
part, yes, and that's the part that makes it a challenge. When you're reading an Omni that requires a lot of thinking, like critical think, sometimes I'll
Yeah.
just pause and be like, where did this author get this from? That makes my brain just,
And I mean, Blackest Night is one of Jeff Johns' best events out there. I think it's just
totally agree.
just behind the Infinite Crisis. That is my absolute favorite
Yes,
event of
thick.
his. And Final Crisis is the biggest event that Grant Morrison has published.
Yes.
And but the Flashpoint Omnibus, I just got a hold of it, so
Dun dun
that
dun.
that is gonna be where the challenge lies, actually, on how fluent I'll read that. But otherwise,
Yeah.
I'll take that challenge for. I'll tell you which month whenever I get to it.
Okay, let me know, please do, because that I personally can't. That's well, I can't say I can't. I'm just intimidated because it's a lot of content. But the writing, again, like you said, got to keep me turning that page. That way I can get through it pretty quick.
Exactly. So, but with reading 3 books per month with the time that you got, how many books, if we could wish for more time or different situation, how many books would you feel is satisfied, if there is such a thing as a satisfied number of reading books each month?
Oh, what kind of question is that? So, okay. You said how many books, if we had more time, how many books would I feel satisfied reading each month?
Yeah.
If
If
I
there is,
could, I would take the number 10. I'll take number 10 all day.
okay, so pretty much every third day,
Wait,
finish.
are we counting omnis or are we talking about trade paperbacks and single issues and stuff like that?
Oh, that's good for taking up the rules. Oh, I guess I was thinking trade paperbacks and up.
Trade paper. Ooh, so collected editions.
So
Yeah.
collect, yeah,
So
exactly.
okay, so 10, 15. 10, 15, I'll be all right.
Yeah,
10, 15, I'll be cool.
10 to 15. So that's pretty much every second or third day finishing up another
Mm-hmm.
book. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
good feeling when you finish off a book.
Yeah. Look, when I finally, what was the book that what is uh, which one was it that I was reading? It was a thick one. Whatever, I'll think of it in a second. Oh, He-Man. He-Man. Jesus. When
Oh,
I read He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, when I finally finished that, I was like, whoo!
it
I
is
felt so good.
such a turn pager. I sprang through it second time, having reread it this summer,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but the only thing I have to say, and I still count this as a total reread,
Dun dun dun.
I do not read the Thundercats and He-Man crossover, nor do I read the reprints from the 80s that they included within that omnibus.
It's a different time, right?
Yeah, and I gain nothing. I gain nothing from
Yeah,
reading those
yeah.
issues.
I understand. But overall, that's one of my favorite omnis on my shelf. I did have an overall great time reading that book. It's a
It's
thick
so
sucker, but it's
yeah,
satisfyingly good.
and it's so beautifully designed also.
Yes. One of my favorite. See, yeah, I can't wait for my next videos coming forward.
Speaking about designs, I mean, that is also something of an interest for you.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, I love it, man. I just actually, you know what? I'll do this for you live. I'll give
Yeah,
you I'll do the VIP. So I had my designer, Kevin, right, to design me a dust jacket for Flashpoint. And I only did it because of the spine. Again, I'm artistic as well, and I like to have the characters on the spine. So shout out to Kevin, yo. If
Ooh.
you can see that, I
Yeah.
love what he did here, man.
I, I can say that I do too.
Yeah. Again, and he took the 10th anniversary out. I'm sorry, DC, but
Nice.
but I only did it because he sold me on that when I saw the spine. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that looks wonderful next to the Francis Manipal omnibus on the shelf. So yeah, I'm very artistic. I love when you're making an omnibus. Like I told you in our private chats, I feel like it's a celebration of your favorite stories in one book. So I feel like everything from the outside to the inside should be showed off well. So
Yeah.
when I met Kevin and I seen what he was doing and he was adding more flavor to it, I'm like, man, you can get along. So yeah, he definitely rocked it with these dust jackets.
Yeah. And that Gilsam on Batgirl as well is one of my favorite runs. Recently finished
Yes.
off. Gonna feature it in one of my reading videos coming up, and yeah, just loved it. And now I want
Oh, I love
another
that
dust
run.
jacket.
Yeah. You thinking about getting one? Hit him up.
I don't know. We have so missed out here in Sweden on custom dust jackets, custom build books overall, and everything. Trying to get a company to do that, it's not easy here. So yeah, we'll have to make it.
If you need me to have me to ship it for you, I got you.
Yeah, thank you. But I don't know the process and everything. I'll make do with what DC and Marvel give me at this point.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Right on.
uh, but going into YouTube again, I mean, still talking about time and how much we want to take out of this because you make videos also.
Yes.
And I feel that with your time, just to assume, it feels that you're very particular in what videos you put out and really going after quality before quantity.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I like I told you before, uh, I wanted my channel to not just be your typical comic book channel. Like I didn't want it to be just another channel where I'm just showing off books. Yes, my niece does a great job. Shout out
Yeah.
to Olivia. But I also wanted to show off, that it's the side of me that a lot of people don't see around the world where I'm not just a comic book collector, but I will also like to show my artistic side. Might show
Exactly.
off my artwork or showing off the custom, designs and stuff like that. So I wanted to bring more to the game than just showing off books.
Yeah.
That's the kind of standout I wanted to bring.
And, and that is absolutely why I took notice of you out
Yeah.
there.
And another thing I do too, we have singers on the channel. We have like little funny, little skits. I even put my bloopers in there. I put my mess ups in there because
Yeah.
it's funny. To me, I feel like that kind of stuff will make somebody's day.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it more human and natural. People make mistakes if there's a blooper and everything.
Yes,
And
and
yeah,
believe me, I mess up plenty of times, and you can see it in there. That I'm like,
yeah.
really? When am I gonna get
I
this right?
think about there's this 20-80, maybe 10-90%. You use 90, or what am I saying? You use 10 or 20% out of things that you actually have filmed in the end.
True. That's so true. You have all this footage, but you have just a little bit left.
Yeah, just taking out the best parts.
Yes.
And that's where the quality over quantity actually comes out, I think.
Absolutely. And we're our own worst critic. So I'm a little bit hard on myself when it comes to this. I'm like, no, I want this to be right. I
Yeah.
want somebody to I also don't want my videos to be boring. I don't want nobody telling me that they fell asleep on my video because if they
Yeah.
tell me that, I feel like I failed.
Yeah, but the best thing that you can do is make a video as you want to see it.
Hey, when you first told me that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. or something. That's true. So true.
Make
Preach it,
make
Keith.
make the video that you want to watch. Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but how many videos do you post now regularly, would you say?
So I try to post at least 2 or 3. I don't really have a set schedule because I'm trying to work on the studio so that I can have the more free space and the time to separate from family and stuff like that so that I can record it with more privacy and less background in my noise. But right now I'm trying to do 2 or 3 videos per month.
Yeah. And yeah, that actually answered my second question, which how many videos would you like to get out each month? But that's a good
Oh,
number.
I actually technically didn't ask it. Right now it's 2 or 3. But once my studio and separate room and stuff done, I would like to try to make it 3 to 5 more better. That way, because I
Yeah.
want to keep people more interested. I want people to be hungry for more, you
Yeah.
know. So right now I'm moving a little slow, but I'm also still trying to, you know, I want
You're
to bring more to it.
still building up the foundation and everything.
Right, right. That's exactly what's going on.
And I mean, I myself had not that idea in the beginning when I started my channel. It was okay.
For real,
What is everybody else doing? Okay, we
right,
turn off the camera. Okay, we show the books. Okay, now people are standing in front of the camera. Okay, might not want to do that.
right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it's been an evolutionary struggle for real because I wasn't myself interested within cinematography or anything or storytelling per se, and now I take notice of all these other creators, both within the community and outside, and just learning stuff.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely. All about learning, right?
so with all of this, managing YouTube, uh, having 2 separate jobs, and reading, hauling. And yeah, I mean, with how much you get done and everything, it all goes down to priorities, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, I don't care. I'm gonna say this on my channel. I don't care what nobody says. And again, I am one of those guys that when an Omni comes out, I try to get it as much as I can. But bills come first. I don't care what nobody says. The lights and stuff got to stay on before any other new book comes in. That's just a priority. Family and stuff comes first before this whole creation and stuff comes. So that's what I try to do.
That's
Did I
very good.
answer the question?
I think you did. I mean, about the priorities, family does come first. Bills does come first
Yes, it
before
does.
you treat yourself.
Yes,
And
I don't care what nobody says. I will go broke. I don't care if it's my most anticipated Omni. Oh, that killed me just to say that. But I don't care if it's my most anticipated. If the bills ain't paid, I'm not getting it.
yeah, because if you would go behind, then you have to sell some stuff. I mean, you probably would get rid of one of the biggest omnibus probably to make it.
That's true, and that's true. There
And I
was a
hate.
time. There was a time that I just really needed a few couple dollars. Sometimes
It,
I can. Actually, that's a good way to fund the hobby. Just sell books you don't need. And
exactly.
that's one of the things that I did do is sell, and I'm still selling a couple of omnis. And I'm like, I don't see myself reading this again. Bye bye.
Yeah.
That can fund the next one.
Eventually, it becomes this. I mean, I'm referring to Doc Ock when I speak about my own graphic novel collection. I mean, when he, in Spider-Man 2,
Yeah,
in the end, where it's too big now. It's
yeah.
self-sustaining.
I will not die a monster.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna let these books fall on me. See, he let that stuff fall on him. I ain't letting them books fall on me.
Exactly.
Let him
Yeah,
go.
but it's a nice way, as I said, because eventually you'll grow to a size and you start accumulate. You start noticing that your space is running out, your time is running out, also because you want to read all these new books. You want to reread
Absolutely.
some of your old books, and
Absolutely.
and just like with title time is money and all you have is books, you start to realize that, okay, maybe I can sell off some stuff actually and regain some space. I can regain some time in the future that it would have taken up to read all those books, and I get some money back.
Yep, absolutely. That's true. When you sell books, you do make space. You ain't wrong.
And yeah, I mean, we went through what other interests you have, but beside comic books, what is your second biggest hobby, would you say?
Oh, my second biggest hobby is definitely photography. I mean, I got into photography because I suck at drawing. So, but I've always had these visions of characters that I've always wanted to make. Because I didn't grow up just reading just comic books. I read fantasy novels. I grew up, doing video games and stuff like that. And so all of that stuff is like a Rolodex in your head. You have these bunch of images in your head that you wanted to make, that I felt like photography and digital art was the open door. Like my Spider-Man, I don't know if you can see it, it's dark, but I made a Spider-Man right here
I can
just
see
to
that.
have some fun. But I've always wanted to
Nice.
make like my own characters. So photography was definitely my second biggest hobby. And then of course writing, again, making my own characters and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because I might slowly, now that I'm into YouTube, I might get into video. Because now I want to make my own films. Maybe.
Well, you are in Vegas, right?
Yes. Las
Sorry,
Vegas, Nevada. Desert, Las Vegas.
if that was a secret, I totally made a fool of myself now. But I mean, you have a good playing area to make a movie. I mean, good amateur movie there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of great areas out here. Like I've always wanted to make my own action movie, but I try to do it through images so to make it stand out.
Yeah, and yeah, I have this question that I asked people around just in comment sections and different live streams and everything, just because I'm so curious. Because the background behind this question is with COVID-19 and everything and pandemic, which I'm sure has affected your life in many ways also,
Yeah.
like everyone's, and just how it affected the comic book community per se. I was a little bit interested because I have my newfound view on possessions and such, and the Comic Cons got shut down and everything, and we have people just missing to have the community and everything. But so a lot less seeing people, but other numbers that got up was the quadrupled in sales of graphic novels and comic books and everything.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, I'm part guilty too for a while. I would say
Yeah.
that I've still managed to hold down the lid to a number that is not over my expectations of what I see myself reading every month. But I could see so many people popping up on YouTube, Facebook groups uh, of new collectors that is hauling in these huge amount of books, and then 2 or 3 months later, they're saying just I'm out.
Yep. They'll burn themselves out. They overbought.
Yeah, and just because I think that they got, I mean, they got the time to, they felt that they got the time with being laid off work or something to get into childhood nostalgia and everything. But I think
Right.
some of them might have missed what the fandom behind the comic book hobby really is. So with that, I would like to ask you how you would describe your fandom of comics.
Whoo. Oh man. That's
What makes it last everything? I mean,
okay.
because you
So
clearly done this more than 3 months.
yeah, I did. Okay, so what makes my fandom last? Like, what keeps the passion for loving comics so strong?
Exactly.
Okay, so my number one thing, what made me fall in love with comics, first of all, of course, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel this way. Where did I go? Oh, I'm sure a lot of people feel this way. When I first got into comics, the first thing I fell in love with is the artwork. I mean, that was the being able to look at comics and escape with not just the stories, but the artwork. That's what really made me fall in love with it. And me also being an artist myself, being able to just get lost.
Yeah.
During that whole quarantine situation, I was reading a whole bunch of hobbies. I've read so many that I can't even count. Now I'm rereading some because now that I got the channel, I got to review some of them. But
Yeah.
that just that moment when you open up a comic, you just get lost in the story. To me, that's what makes me fall in love with it all over again. And it reminded me when I first got my first comic when I was in like third grade.
That's great. Nostalgia
Yes,
and appreciating of stories.
yes,
It's it's stuff that's not purely the let's say the material stuff. I mean,
yes,
because it's so much more. It's the want, is the need to discover, and not just putting them on the pile, just reading the pile.
actually read. I've actually seen in a couple of groups, even on Facebook, I've seen some guys, even on eBay as well. They'll just buy the books, but they'll buy it to resell it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what is the point?
I mean,
You just want money, or
I would assume so but I can't imagine how much you would have to do that. I don't think anyone is doing that to make a living out of it, but
I
to
hope not.
but I mean, even to make it worth your free time to do that, to flip all the stuff.
Yeah,
If you can manage, if you can get so much money out of it to make it worth that.
right.
Otherwise, they're just wasting everybody's time of those people that actually do want to have the book and now have to pay double as much. So I hope their enthusiasm is double as much as high to make it worth that price.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just sucks that people do that.
I totally agree, and I think it's a total waste of time. But yeah, back to that other question, escapism is my number one thing. What Why I fell in love with comic books, fantasy novels, all that stuff. It's just being able to read in somebody else's mind what's going on with this character or whatever, because these are author written words, right? And you get to see their perspective on a character or a world. You get to see their side of world building or whatever, and you get to see their different kind of styles of writing. Like
Yeah.
Grant Morrison is super different than Ed Brubaker, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
You know what I'm saying? So you get to see these different styles and you get to fall in love with them. That's what makes my passion for it go up.
Yeah. Let's see what, because when I was thinking about inner monologue and everything and getting into the depths of a character, I get two stories in particular in mind.
Uh-oh.
And one of which would be then Batman Hush by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. I would say that is what has one of the greatest inner monologues going over the mind of Batman.
I cannot agree more. I cannot agree more.
Okay.
Jeff Lowe put his foot in that story, by the way.
Yeah. And yeah, one dialogue that I remember from that one would be when he thinks about the Robins that he has and how Dick Grayson stopped being Robin because for him it was, I mean, it it wasn't what he wanted from the beginning.
Yeah.
So he grew tired of it.
Mhm.
And Jason Todd uh, thought playing Robin was a game, so that's why he got himself killed.
Right. Right. I'm sorry. Wait. I got a quick question for you. Who is your favorite Robin?
I would think that it's Tim Drake, actually. Tim Drake or Damien. It's so close. It depends on the story.
It depends. Yeah, I understand that answer completely.
Pre-New 52, it would be Tim Drake. Because Damien wasn't as developed. But then New 52, Rebirth, Damien.
Damien, yeah, Damien is sick. Damien is
And
so sick.
how about you? Do you have any type of special that you think about when it comes to good inner monologuing and just mapping of the mind of the character?
Oh my goodness. There's so many. I would say, oh my God. I'm just looking at my shelf. I have, there's so many. I don't even know where to start. Okay, I will go with. I love the way Jeff Johns wrote Aquaman. I really love how he went over his mindset through that whole freaking run and what's frustrating him and stuff like that. Like he really made Aquaman relatable in that book. Like he's not just this king or about to be king kind of character.
Yeah.
He really made Aquaman super relatable, like human, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like I enjoyed that, and they adapted that in the movie, but I think the comics did it better. Jeff Johns really made him really relatable. I love Jason Momoa, but
Yeah.
Jeff Johns really made, yeah, I love his mindset in that doggone run. It was just incredible to me.
S- Super great art also should be mentioned by Ivan Reyes.
Yes, yes, Ivan Reyes is a beast.
I've seen him described, I don't know from where, I don't remember, but like a modern Neil Adams.
Yes,
And that's when
yes,
I look at how Ivan Reyes draws like his faces and particularly the lips on all his guys.
yes,
And that's the point where I look at, oh, that's exactly like Neil Adams. But I mean,
yes,
overall, it's very clean looking, streamlined. I mean, if I would pick my top three and they're all kind of generically alike, it would be Jim Lee, Ivan Reyes, and gosh darn it, I forgot it.
it's okay.
The artist from Three Jokers.
Jason Fabok.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
Six. Okay, I'll give you my three, even though that's a hard one. I love Lee Bermejo.
yeah.
Jim Lee. Jim Lee is on everybody's list at this point.
Yeah.
And I also love oh man, I'm having a hard time too on that third one. It's something about the third one. Because you don't want to leave nobody out.
Exactly.
Okay. Who's the guy that did Ryan Stegman?
Invincible. And the
Yeah,
Amazing Spider-Man ongoing series.
and he did Venom with Donny Cates. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. And that's
Yeah,
another one, by the way, to mention that Donny Cates, the way he wrote Eddie Brock in his run, super relatable. His mindset and the way how he makes it where Venom and him cannot stay apart from each other. Like I don't know how you make me fall in love not just with the symbiote, but Eddie. These two elements, you make me fall in love with them separately, even as they are together.
And I personally have read so little Venom. I actually owned the first two Venomnibus, then sold them off because it didn't make the cut. But the Donny Cates Venom deluxe editions, I picked up the first two volumes and read it, and I love the first volume. The second one, I felt needed the crutch that is the Absolute Carnage Omnibus, but still, the first volume there, I really fell in love with dialogue. Very strong storytelling on those 12 issues that it included, and yeah, I had that Tom Hardy voice in my head while reading it. But I was thinking, have you read any older Venom titled stuff? Because I can't remember that they had that type of dialogue between them.
Right there. I have all three. I have read it. And again, like I said, out of all the ones I read, Donnie, in my opinion, did it best. He definitely did it best. Those old ones, I have no problems with the old ones. Don't get me wrong,
No,
but this one right here was different because you really made them relatable. I can't even put no other word towards it. You feel for the character, just like Jeff Johns, how he does with a lot of his stuff. Aquaman, JSA, blah blah blah. You're making me. Jeff Johns has this talent to make you fall in love with characters you never thought you would fall in love with. I didn't
exactly.
think I would fall in love with Aquaman. A lot of people, including me, put Aquaman under the bus at first until I read his run.
Yeah. And JSA was the biggest surprise for me reading his work. Didn't know a single character. Maybe I knew who the Flash was because of the lightning bolt, but
Yep.
and the Green Lantern, but that was pretty much it. And
Oh,
now
Green Lantern. How did I forget that?
oh, Jeff Johnson Green. Oh God. I mean, I can't see myself actually. And whenever I go through my collection to see what I can let go of to invite something new, and I can never see myself let go of Green Lantern by Jeff Johns or JSA by
Me
Jeff Johns.
either. Me either. Kevin designed some dope dust jackets for me as well for those. Sorry.
I was thinking, not just holding them back for dust jackets. I hope it's the stories first.
Yeah. Yeah. Very dope.
Which would you say is your top three Jeff Johns stories with so much
Yo,
material
King,
out there?
don't do this to me on this live. This is hard.
Okay. I mean, I had trouble making a top
Okay.
10, and pretty much everything of it was Jeff Johns anyway, so top
Okay.
three should be impossible then.
Top three Jeff John. That is ridiculous. All right, here we go. My feelings are so hurt right now. Because I
What
don't
if
want to leave nobody out.
what if Jeff Johns is listening? I don't think he would
Well,
be.
Jeff Johns, I want you to know I love you. I love all your stories, and I don't want to leave any. He's limiting me to three. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing, not apologizing. Uh, so my top three: The Flash, Aquaman. This is rough.
Is the Flash the Barry Allen stuff or the Wally West
Uh,
or
it's the
both?
very, it's Wally.
Oh,
I
nice.
love the Wally stuff. I definitely love the Wally stuff.
Great. You don't hear that much because you rarely see that in people's collections, but now we should be because of the reprint omnibus, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true. I can't wait for that third volume. I'm still getting it, even though I have the Flashpoint omnibus. I don't feel like I'm wasting money. I'm getting it.
Yeah, I was thinking if I were picking up those reprints, the first two omnibus that is collecting the first three of the previous run collected. I mean, I don't think I would pick up that third one myself.
Yeah.
Not just because of a minimalist thinking and everything holding back, but I mean, with the issues that is collected within that omnibus, I think there's maybe it's like issue number 8 to 12 of the later issues of the Barry Allen stuff with Jeff Johns that he wrote before
Mm-hmm.
the New 52. And that is pretty much it that is not collected within sets of other omnibus because it's all tie-in issues to some event.
Right.
So it's a tie-in issues to Blackest Night, the tie-in issues to Final Crisis. Maybe there's some issues from Infinite Crisis. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of tie-in issues because they had such huge events right
I
then in
I
DC.
agree.
And I was
Yes.
just thinking that those issues would read better within the context of its own event that I already own. And that is why I
Mm-hmm.
stepped away from ever thinking that I would pick it up in the first place.
Yes,
I am not,
absolutely.
and there's no judgment on you. You get to pick up any book that you think that you would be appreciated of the art and story in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jeff Johns, I hate to leave anyone out. I love a lot of the stuff he wrote. I want his Superman to be collected. There's so much, yeah. Green Lantern Corps, okay, yeah. I ain't gonna get started on that.
Oh, they just slipped up, not having those issues in omnibus in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. Why isn't that? Yeah, why isn't that here?
What they could do potentially would be a Jeff Johns by Green or a Green Lantern by Jeff Johns companion.
That, you know what? That would be great.
I don't know if DC has ever built a companion. I think they
I
made
don't think so either.
I think they named the tie-ins to the Crisis on Infinite Earth deluxe editions. It had like 3 or 4 deluxe editions that had the companion in
Yeah.
it. But that's the only time the tie-ins has been collected in that way, and that's of course probably one of the biggest events till today, all the way back to the 80s. Sorry.
Yep.
And and yeah. But yeah, I think that's the route to go. If anything, if we still would have such old issues collect, I mean, it feels so wrong saying something that was published after the 2000s, calling it old. But
Calling it old. I
that's
feel
where
old just talking like that.
that's I mean, personally, I believe that the greatest DC era was in between the 2003 and 2010s, somewhere there in between, because that's when the meat was. That's where Jeff Johns was pretty much on any title, going from title to title.
Yes, he was. He was hot. He was on fire during that time.
Bring up any character that he touched, as he said.
Yeah, and that's another one. You know what? To add to this, Blackest Night, what the other one? Final Crisis. Add his Teen Titans to your reading list. So that heavy.
It is,
which is a fire run.
It is so forgotten.
I totally agree. It's so underrated. Why did everybody throw that one under the bus?
It's one of the thickest omnibus out there.
Yes, it is.
I think it scores over 1,500 pages. If not, it's very, very close. Not that the thickness of the book matters, but still, people usually take notice. And that is one of the books that made me fall in love with Tim Drake also as a character, because he was taking the leader role within the Teen Titans at that time.
Yes, I agree. Just go ahead.
I was also going to mention a very forgotten character that is Connor Kent.
Oh my goodness! Why does he not have any omnis yet?
I don't know. He got a biological son instead.
Yep. Yeah, man. I'm hurt.
I was so happy to see Connor Kent appearing in a crossover on Super Sons and Superman. I think Detective Comics was involved within that also. But yeah, just seeing him in some sort of manner, but now he's the future Superman within that crossover. So it was nice to see the DC still remembered him. Let's see here. Detective Comics by Tinian also remembered him in sort of ways and paid tribute to him in this manner and form. And that is why I ranked that DC title so high, also because it remembers what was before, but still celebrates the new.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. They did that well. Totally agree.
I still haven't read that omnibus, but I sold off those deluxe editions as soon as I heard that it was going to get a omnibus collection.
Whoo!
And I'm in the middle of my Batman readathon now, so...
Are you still on Road to No Man's Land?
Yeah, I'm reading Road to No Man's Land omnibus, and I still have my paperbacks of No Man's Land, so I'll probably jump into those after I'm done with this. It's such a fluent read. It's compiled of so many different titles.
Yes.
But it sort of makes it easier because the, sometimes when you read the same characters, maybe it can feel okay. Now it's getting more of the same. But now we switch around all the time,
Yep.
more like a TV show.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Going back, I read a couple of issues after we had our conversation, and
Yeah,
nostalgia was killing me because that 90s art.
yeah.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, I feel like a kid. See, that goes back to your question. Why does the fire for comics still stay there? Nostalgia. I mean, I'm like, oh, I remember seeing this as a little boy and blah, blah, blah. So, and looking at the scans, because some of the scans on the pages of that Omni look a little, I don't know what the word is, but it still looks
Skewed.
like that trade paperback that I remember as a kid.
Yeah, nostalgia can take you a long way. Nostalgia can also trick you in some manners.
You're not
Or
wrong.
like, I don't remember this ever happening. I mean, because your mind has a way to refine stuff.
Yeah,
You
that's
really
true.
Another thing that I heard is that you really shouldn't talk out loud about childhood memories and everything, because then you will just alter it more and more in your head as you talk about it.
You're
But
not wrong. Like there's so much that happened after I was talking about that.
it's still very nice. I don't have, because I didn't grow up in America. I didn't have the same kind of environment with American comic books and titles being available, I guess, in comic book stores. But I mean, was that even a thing in the 90s?
it was it was hot. Like comic stores were packed. I'm gonna speak for my city. I can't speak for a lot of them, but a
How
lot of
about
them was packed.
how about supermarkets? Could you find your single issue comic books there?
Yes, I remember when the Clone Saga was coming out. I used to get some of the single issues at the Walmart, local Walmart, just single issues in a little stand with the characters standing on the side saying, "Hello, I got a new issue here."
Nice, because the one comic book that we got was the Swedish printing of Donald Duck,
Yes.
and it was like old. I mean, it was all reprint issues from old Don Rosa comic strips and everything, and comic stories, and those are of course great material. But
Yes.
for a little kid that is searching for action and everything, maybe he'll find that in Duck comics. I mean, I picked up a few for some years, but
Hmm.
didn't fill all of that void that was filled by like the animated TV series like Spider-Man and Batman that I wanted to have in comic book form.
You know what's funny? It's funny you asked, you know, was it like that in the 90s, early 2000s? Because when I first got into comics, yeah, I visit my comic shop a few times, but my comic store, you won't believe this, is at the book fair at school. Because I
Oh,
started out in trade paperbacks, and that's all I was reading. I rarely collected single issues like that. I had some, but I started out in collected editions. So that was my start, and they will
nice.
have them all in the book fairs at school. This was when reading was a thing. Kids nowadays are into tablets and stuff. I'm sorry, but during that time, this was when reading rainbow, all that stuff was hot during that time.
I I don't think I ever saw a trade paperback until just a couple of weeks ago when I visited my local library, and they finally have a graphic novel section.
What? They late to the party. That's okay. Better late than never.
Very late to the party,
Yeah, better
and
late than never.
uh, and the librarian that actually ordered them in is a friend of mine, and I was talking with her, and she was just saying that yeah, we had some of the Batman comics and everything, and the ones that the gateway comics, the Killing Joke and Scott Snyder's Court of Owls, great entry points if you want to get into Batman. And then they have, I was thinking, you have to have Watchmen, you have to have V for Vendetta, and such. And I don't know, maybe we're loaned out at the time, but
Right.
I mean, what she said to me was because in Sweden, because it is as it is with we just have as many collectors as we have and as many shops as we got.
Yeah.
Most collectors here in Sweden buy their stuff, not loaning, renting.
Yeah.
So they want to have it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was pretty long ago since I had to borrow something from a library, so I don't remember have that feeling of someone else touching a book before myself.
Yeah.
Like oh, no cellophane. What is this?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. I'm sorry. I don't got lost in this conversation. I forgot if you were asking me a question or not.
I don't think I did. I think we're just
We were
hanging
just
out now.
we were just chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the chat is open. If anyone has any questions, I know we don't have as many viewers during this time because we switched around this time like 2 or 3 times.
I
But that's
know. Dang, we already 50 minutes in. It was just getting good.
yeah, it's still good. It's still good. But yeah, we're trying to make this, and it's so weird being 9 hours apart, but still being able to
And
manage
still,
this.
I know. I know. I know.
And in the beginning, it was going to be my morning and your evening.
Yeah, but then I remembered I have a Snyder Cut viewing today because my auntie ain't seen it yet. So I
Yeah,
said, wait, I can't do it because we're going to do it tonight. So I said, no, let's do this right now, early in the morning.
yeah, and I'm all for that to spread the Snyder Cut, so I will not
I
stand in
am
the way for
spreading it
that.
as far. My auntie, I'm gonna get her on my channel. You gonna see her. You think I'm funny? Oh, wait till you meet TT. She is a huge nerd as I am. She's a huge
Nice.
nerd as I am, and she loves the DC CW shows.
Ooh.
She's a movie watcher holic. Okay, so she loves her favorite show from DC is the I don't want to lie, but she loved them all. But she loved the Flash and Legends.
Yeah.
She loved Arrow too, but
I mean,
yeah.
I have a sweet. I mean, I like Legends too, just because they are totally not taking this seriously anymore at all.
No, not anymore. No.
It's pure comedy almost. It's almost pure comedy.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's probably the only show that I'll keep on following once every season is done
Yeah.
because it's I mean they have this out of timeline story arc going on, so it doesn't really affect as much when
Mhm.
except whenever they do the yearly crossover, I guess. But I
Yeah.
mean, I took half a year of my time rewatching everything chronologically
I did that too.
that played out from the very first episode of Arrow till it ended.
Okay, Arrow. Let me just throw it out there. I miss those elements that Arrow had in the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I miss those dark and gritty moments, especially when was Deathstroke in there? I think season 2.
Yes.
Uh I just miss those moments where you're so invested to the character and then something bad happens to him and then you're like teary eyed. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I miss that. And then something fell. I don't know what it was, but unless they was getting burnt out, I don't know. But I
Yeah.
miss what Arrow was doing.
Season 1, 2, and 3, golden. I would still
Yes,
say I think season 2 is my most favorite one.
I think so. Mine too. It
Then
was a very
season 1.
heartbreaking season.
Yeah, and then season 1 actually because I liked what they did with the element of the hero. And I was
Hmm.
really thinking that, oh man, he is gonna be like this the whole show. And
Yeah.
then they make it so you actually get some evolution within the character. Or I mean,
So Arrow, you have failed my viewing.
we have one of my Swedish friends here, Victor. And have you seen the new Loki episode? Have you been following the Marvel series Day Day?
I have. I have faithfully. I have not seen the new Loki yet.
Not
I'm
me
gonna.
either.
Yeah, I did not, and I gave up starting to look at the shows at midnight because the stream will go crazy. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll just wait till later on during the day. But yeah, I have been following it. Even though the Snyder Cut was good, I'm sorry, Joachim. Disney or Marvel was like, hold my beer. Because with these shows, they are coming in hard and strong. I was like, oh, geez, dang it.
Yeah. And which one of the shows that we've gotten with between WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Loki? I mean, Loki's still not done, I guess. So would it
I
be
think they
fair
have
to
one more episode left. I
yeah,
think.
and two of which we haven't seen. So you and I, that is. So would it be fair to rank those? What do you think? What are your thoughts on WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier?
Okay, first of all, let's start with Wonder Vision. My mind was blown. You've seen a whole different side. First of all, let me start by I got to give Marvel credit. Marvel took a lot of characters that people put under the rug and made them popular. Okay, right? Like Iron Man has been slept on in the comics world. And Robert Downer Jr. came in. Now Iron Man is, it's up there. He's up there now. Lord, what's her name? Scarlet Witch. Again, another character slept on, but her show came out, and you get to see a different side of her with this illusion she's making. Oh my God, is that her name? Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes.
She killed it. I mean, the character development in all the shows, period, are incredible, but hers was extremely mind blowing. They better give her an Emmy or something. She killed it.
Something should be waiting for her. And she has more coming within the upcoming movies. She's co-starring in, or she's appearing in Doctor Strange 2, Madness of
Yeah,
Multiverse of Madness.
yeah, Multiverse of Madness. I think that's the name.
Yeah, and
Spider-Man got home in every single title.
yeah, and I don't know, maybe an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. I think someone is gonna show up
I feel
within
like,
a
yeah,
post-credit scene.
I agree. I feel
And
like somebody's gonna make a little appearance. We'll see.
prediction right now, I think we're gonna get two post-credit scenes in Spider-Man No Way Home.
I was thinking three, but since you said two, because
Well,
Marvel is just full of surprises.
they could go Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and just throw out 5.
They could overdo it. Oh, and you said Falcon and Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that too. I was impressed by Sam's character development, especially that speech at the end on the news. Right?
Sorry.
Oh, I
Can you
was
hear
like,
me
what
now?
happened? Yes, I can.
I think
Okay.
I think I bumped the mute button on my microphone as I was just going, yeah, best speech that I've heard
Yeah.
in a very long while. And it felt like it was supposed to be in a movie.
Yes. Yes.
It had that quality to it.
Yeah, that speech, it makes me look forward even more to that what's that omnibus coming out? All new Captain America? Wait, Captain America by who's it by?
Oh, the writer. Oh, I know what you're thinking about. It. I mean, it is the one.
Rick Remender. Rick
Yeah.
Remender. Rick Remender. I am looking forward to that, and yes, I am definitely getting Sam's cover. I mean, the man killed it in the show. That was a great speech. Like everybody's character development, even Loki. Come on, man.
Yeah, I had. These are going to be actually no spoilers on the show. We're just talking about the character development and what they did with the first episode. Let's talk about just the first episode on how they caught up that character, that variant of Loki in the timeline.
Wow.
I was thinking, I don't know what you thought, but I was thinking, okay, so now we're going to get a different perspective of everything. He is not going to have the evolution that the other one had through Ragnarok and Endgame. And I mean, even in For the Dark World, losing his mother.
Yeah. By the way, I really miss those. I I might get in trouble for saying this. I'm sorry, fans. I really love the first two Thor movies because I really love those issues. Again, what keeps my fire going on with these comics is that relatability. I really love the family issues they had in there. like when he was caged up in the second one, he's like, he's not my father. I'm like, oh, I miss this, man. And to see him in this situation in the show, I fell in love with him even more. You know, it's so full of surprises. I can't wait to see this new episode.
And I'm actually gonna saying this out on live stream makes me scared because I hate spoilers. But I'm gonna
Yep.
try to last this week so I can have myself 2 episodes next week to finish off the series.
Oh, you're gonna try to? Yeah, you better stay logged off of social media. You better deactivate or something.
Yeah, but in between posts, I am actually social media detoxing. I do not count YouTube as social media per se, but maybe I should. But I'm trying to keep myself busy by making new videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, just maybe I can question that while we're still on it. What is your next video project?
Oh my God. So of course Olivia's coming back to do my what is this, July? So I'm gonna be doing the May and June haul. So it's gonna be 2 stacks again of books that I have not posted yet because I slowed down on doing my hauls. So that's what makes the stacks higher when I put 2 months together. So Olivia's going to be coming next, and then the thing that I'm going to be working on after that is probably my top 5 best design omnibuses. Now, the reason that video is going to be challenging for me is because I'm going to try to leave out my custom dust jackets, because not everybody has those. Did you mute yourself again?
Yeah, I did mute myself again. I was gonna say, yeah, because those custom dust jackets would probably take the top 3 every time, right?
Yes, that's true. I would include that whole list with those, but not everybody has those. So I don't feel like that'll be fair. Maybe that'll be a separate video of my top 5 custom dust jacket Omni designs, I guess.
Absolutely, because you should share those with people.
Absolutely.
Possible.
And then, of course, I'm going to do a review of The Punisher by Garth Ennis, the Marvel Knights one, the first one.
Nice.
I'm definitely going to do a review on that because I was in a mood before I was reading what I'm reading now. I was in a crime, gut punching mood. So The Punisher helps me get that out. So that's what I'm working on. And then, of course, you might get the exclusive. I'm also trying to work on a interaction on my channel where I'm going to invite some friends to the channel where I'm going to do like kind of a game or a comic book trivia kind of a game where it's going to be like me and 3 other friends, and I'm just going to ask questions going around the room. It's kind of like your comic book Family Feud kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so to bring more interaction and entertainment to the channel to where I show that I have fun with all of this stuff. So
it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun having people shouting out comic book trivia.
Yeah, comic book trivia, all kind of nerdy questions and stuff like that. I think that'll be fun because I ain't gonna ask just comic book questions, but I'm gonna ask like, what is Dory's song he sings to Marlin going down, or whatever, stuff like that. Just to have a little fun. So I'm gonna make people think a little bit while having fun. I think that'll be fun, and I'm gonna turn that to a whole series. So it's kind of like a game. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Nice. You have to have something to look forward, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's always the next video.
Yes. Dun dun dun. What about you? What's coming up next for you?
Let's see. I'm trying to wrap up the upcoming apartment tour video.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I recently moved back to my hometown, back to the same apartment.
You're finally you're done?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
With the exception of one ceiling kitchen lamp, I'm all done. And that's just because I can't find a hook to put up in the ceiling.
right?
But the video, it's all shot and done, but it's not
Yeah.
edited. I still need to cut together some footage from the living room, and very much looking forward to show you that space. Actually, the video, if you're following me, I'm trying to emulate like other type of channels that I watch. I've watched so many design shows, interior design YouTube channels.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
So just not following comic book channels, but also other channels to be inspired to
I
how
think
to
that's
edit.
another one of the questions you have for me. I forgot.
Yeah, of course. What other channels do you follow?
Yeah, so yeah, I don't follow just comic book channels. So of course, I like to follow channels that relate to who I am. So of course, I will follow, other photographer channels. I like to look at behind the scenes and post production, digital art channels, watching the time lapses and stuff like that because I study that stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, movie and cinematography. Y'all know IGN and all that stuff. I like to look at trailer. I study this stuff heavily. I look at lighting. I look at color. Same with comics. As you can see, my whole wall is filled with art.
Yeah.
So I try to follow those channels that can help keep that fire burning for
Yeah.
more creativity. So
I
yeah,
mean,
photography, art, all that stuff.
you get do you get inspiration whenever you look at any side of your room?
Absolutely. As soon as I wake up, it's art everywhere.
Yeah.
But watch that on my room tour for those that ain't seen it.
Yeah. You guys should watch that. And it's not like all the other room tours. It's not a POV style per se, but you're actually hosting the room tour, showing off both you and your personality as well as your belongings. And,
Absolutely.
and I really like that. I mean, even though COVID and everything, I guess your friend, you were already close in the same group and everything, of course, not putting blame or anything, or maybe you should think about that.
Yeah.
Was he wearing a mask or something? But no, should think about that, of course, get your vaccinated, everything. But I mean, yeah, it was nice seeing that because, yeah, it made a new flavor also to the room tour and everything, and inspired to what people can do.
Absolutely. And like I told you before, I didn't want when I made that room tour, I said I don't want it to be boring. I have seen some room tours where they're, doing cameras and they're just, oh, this is this and this is that. No, I'm gonna be like, come over here, look over here, look at me. My cameraman, he actually did that. I'll be like, look at me, and he'll point the camera right at me, and I'll be like, come over here, we're coming to this section, and I'm gonna tell you what is over here. Make it exciting. And that's what I tried to do with the room
Is it,
tour, make it more exciting.
it's a little more like MTV Crib raw version.
And that's what I took notes from because MTV Cribs was popping, and it was so entertaining. So I wanted to do it just like that. Hello, my name is Jada. Come take a look.
Yeah, I've watched my fair share of that also, but I mean, show what you got. You have more personality. You didn't open your fridge or anything, showing what you had for beverages or anything, or just like
No,
20 colas or cokes.
that is unnecessary. I totally agree. Nah, I enjoy doing that room tour. I actually can't wait to do one on the new studio I'm making. So
Nice. I'm very much looking forward to see that space and what you've done with it and what you can
yeah,
do to make a proper, I mean, recording and collecting space.
absolutely. And I'm separating myself because that's what's really going to push the content out. Because sometimes when you start recording and you got to tell the family to,
Yeah.
it drives me nuts. So that's why I'm pushing that studio.
Or you're gonna soundproof it or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Gonna make sure it's gonna be good.
You have to film that whenever you can. You have to film the process of that. People are gonna
Yes,
want to see that.
I most definitely am. And it's got to get messy before it gets pretty.
Yeah, always does. I mean, if you saw the video where I was moving and boxes everywhere, like
Yes, I did.
30 banana Chiquita boxes.
Those were some huge boxes.
Yeah, film and at first when I moved, I wanted to film them from the long end to the other long end, so you don't have as much books within it. But if I
Hmm.
did that, it would have taken at least 10 more boxes.
Yes, that's true.
So I was more thinking about, okay, heavier boxes, but don't have to walk as much up and down the stairs. And there were 6 stairs, long stairs to get down on.
Oh my God, the struggle is real.
But going down, I must say, is easier than when I moved into that apartment
Going
and
up. Oh
going
my
up.
God, I can't
But
imagine.
and what really impressed me with that, just one last detail about that move, was that when I moved to that apartment 2 years ago, it
Hmm.
took 3 cars with trailers to ship all of my stuff there.
Sheesh. You know what? You never know how much stuff you have until you have to move.
Absolutely not. And half of that was in storage and everything. So it took one trailer first weekend. Then I spent one more week at campus sleeping there. And then the second weekend there, I moved in with the final 2 trailers arriving together
Hmm.
with my parents and brother and getting all that done. But moving back here, oh, voice crack. moving back here to my hometown. With my girlfriend now, also with her possessions,
Yeah.
it only took 2 cars with 2 trailers. So I sold myself
Wow.
off with one whole trailer worth of stuff.
Right. Wow.
Yeah,
I
I,
know you're glad you're done though. Whew.
I am.
I know you're so glad. Yeah, I'm trying to pre-plan myself how I'm gonna move all my books into that studio. I'm trying to figure out the safest way to do it the right way. Because I'm also getting taller shelves too. I'm gonna retire these little short Walmart ones. I want to get some taller ones like Kalax or something like that from IKEA or
I could
something.
I could strongly recommend, if you're going to put them against the wall. If you're not, choose the Kylex. It's a room divider first
Hmm.
and foremost. But if you're gonna have them against the wall, I would suggest the thinner Billy shelves. Sure, I have the big ones, but they do bow a bit with the heavier books standing on them. But if you
And
want
you
to avoid
said
that,
okay, center.
but
You said the Billy shelves.
yeah, and
Okay.
they have a thinner one that is half that the size within the width of it, but they're much more sturdier. But still, you can apply the same doors if that's what you like and everything. I have
No,
that
I
on
don't
mine.
want no doors. I don't want no glass. No, I'm clumsy. I might break and hit. Yum, yum. No, I don't need no door.
No, no, no. But I don't know. I use it to sort of separate them from the open space. Still,
Yeah,
and with the glass, it still makes them feel like they're there, but they're not there. It's
yeah.
a
I
whole
like the I
aesthetic
like the
thing.
whole. I like the way the calyx or Kalax, whatever. I'm gonna pronounce it the way I feel. Kalax is is. I just like it displayed open with no doors, just a wide cube, and you add that extra space up top so the
Yeah,
absolutes can fit inside. So yeah, I'm thinking about that maybe.
yeah. But you could shift around the billy shelves however you like. Also,
That's true. That's true.
mechanics will always stay the same because there
Mhm.
is that one oversized edition that you're just gonna be like, can't
Yeah,
can't do that.
you're like we're ordering like when ordering like organizing your books and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm the only one, but like if it's in a series, I don't like to separate them.
No,
Like I don't want my Green Lantern like that one volume to be separate from the other one. It has to be together.
yeah.
That is like a plain rule. Hello, camera. Okay, there we go.
Hey, you're
It
still
was
here.
blurry for a second.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, that's the way I like it. Dang, an
So yeah,
hour and 14 minutes.
yeah.
Dang.
Thank you for doing this, man.
Thank you, man. I did not want this to end. It was just getting good.
Oh, we can have an after chat. We can have an after chat after this. You know that.
Oh yeah, we'll most definitely do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But I
thanks
want
for having me, man. I really appreciate this. This was very entertaining and super fun.
my pleasure. Absolutely. And I'll surely invite you again sometime if you want to talk more about collecting and our routines and everything and what is happening next on our YouTube channels and everything. Because
Yes,
I just love talking about the creative process also within the channel.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm bringing you on for my channel as well. Might as well.
Thank you.
'Cause-
Thank you. I'll happily be there and happily join you. And of
yes,
course, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, but if it's not obvious enough, there are links down below in the description for Day Day's Omnination Comics YouTube channel, as well as his Instagram. So go support him best by checking those out.
and I'm gonna say this now that we're about to end the chat, since you didn't say that in the beginning. Y'all enjoy Joachim. This guy has some dope content. I've been a fan for years. I have been faithfully following. I told you my first video when I first saw your channel was the Witchblade and the Darkness Compendium because I was desperately trying to look for those. And I was definitely impressed by the quality of your video when you were showcasing them. You made them look delicious.
Thank
So
you.
I'm definitely a fan, man. Forever be a fan. I will forever be subscribed. See, now I'm talking as a fan and not a YouTuber.
Thank you for the high praise. I'm getting a big head now, so
No,
that's how it goes.
you never get a head as size as mine. But anyway,
The hair is covering it up most of the size. But
yeah.
yeah, thank you once again. Thank you all that has been joining during the stream, after the stream. Thank you for checking out this content on comic book collecting and we trying to find fandom with our fellow comic book YouTubers.
Oh,
And
this is
yeah,
fun. So much fun.
see you all next time.
See
Bye bye.
y'all.